Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you the first Q&A video of what I think will eventually become a series on this channel. You guys have been asking for this type of video for quite some time now. It's finally here. So watch the video. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if you want to see this, like I said, continue on as a series. And if you do, be sure to support the video with a like and leave your questions for the next Q&A video down below in the comment section as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the questions. All right, so the way this is going to work is I'm going to pull questions from that Ask Me Anything video that went up a week ago or so. You guys left a ton of comments on that video, almost 2,000 as I'm actually making this one. And like I said, lots of questions to pick from. And essentially all I did was pick the ones that got asked the most, got lots of thumbs up, and also just questions that I thought myself were particularly interesting and worth answering. So we're going to start off with some of the more simple ones and then work our way up to some of the more complex ones that obviously are going to have slightly longer answers. So if I get a little bit rambly, I apologize, but hopefully you enjoy the video anyways. So we'll start off with a question that I get asked quite a bit, and that is, how old are you? I'm not sure if it's because of the way I look or because of the way I talk or sound or something like that, but a lot of people seem to be under the impression that I'm a lot older than I actually am, which is not the case. I'm actually a pretty young guy, 22 years old. I was born in 1993, for those that were wondering. My birthday's in January, if that matters to anybody, but 22 years old, and that's really the answer to that question. Don't really have anything to add to that. Next question, this is another one that I get a lot. Where do you live? I've answered this before in the comment section. I've not really been too specific, but a lot of people are under the impression as well that, again, that I live in the US. That's not the case. I've never lived in the US. I actually have lived in Canada my entire life and still live there. For those that watch the channel and have been following for the last few months, you know that I recently moved about 4 hours away or so from where I've basically been living my entire life. I'm now in the Niagara region, which is honestly not far from the border to the US, where New York is, or Buffalo, I guess, would be the closer main city there. 10 minutes away from the border, let's just say. That's where I live. I'm in the Niagara region right now. I like it so far, and that's the answer to that question. Next question, how did you get this job? This is a question that I get a lot. I think a lot of people are under the impression that this is one of those things that was given to me or that I work for somebody or something like that. That's not the case at all. This is this channel you watch, the website that I run, everything that I've done on the internet is pretty much all kind of self-done. The way that I got this job is I made this job for myself. Now with that said, this is not something that I kind of started off as kind of a future job or a future business. This is something that I started off as a hobby basically in my last year of high school. The kind of inspiration, because that's something a lot of people seem to ask as well, was that I really wanted to kind of make reviews that were unlike anybody else's. I've always had an interest in soccer gear. I've always had an interest in footwear in particular. And I always found that, especially as I got older, I would do my research before buying shoes, before buying really anything because of the internet, and found that the information that I was looking for just wasn't there. And I felt like I could do a pretty good job of providing that type of information that wasn't there. It was like a gap in the market, if you will. So I kind of started off with YouTube. I had a website, obviously, that I still have, SoccerReviewsForYou.com, and kind of just did my thing, and it grew from there. 4 years later, this is where we're at. So like I said, it's not something that I started off thinking this was going to be a business at some point or kind of something that I would do full-time later in my life, but that's what it ended up turning into, and that's what it is today. So really the simple answer, if you're looking to do something like this, the best advice I can give you, not to quote Shia LaBeouf, but just do it. It's really just that simple. If you never start, you're never going to know where it ends up. So obviously there's more complex elements that went into what it has become today, but that's kind of the gist of it. If you never start, you never know where it's going to end, let's just say. So moving on to the next question, here's one I get a lot. Do you play FIFA or video games in general? And the answer to that question is not really. I don't really play FIFA all that much. I did when I was a little bit younger, but it's something that you play every single year when the new game comes out, and it's really not all that different going year to year. I was never all that good at it, which I guess is probably the reason why I kind of lost interest. It's not really fun to go online and lose over and over again. But it's just one of those things that I don't really have time to dedicate to anymore and don't really find all that fun. As far as other video games go, I mean, I have an Xbox One, I have a PS4. Do I play them a lot? Not really. I just got Forza 6. I like that. I do have an interest in cars and stuff like that, but that is pretty much it. I play very, very occasionally, and that's really what it is with video games and me right now. I'd like to play more, but like I said, I just don't find myself dedicating a lot of time to video games anymore like I did when I was maybe 14, 15 years old. Anyways, next question. Nike or Adidas? This is one I get a lot, and I've answered before, but kind of not an answer that I guess most people would be happy with, and that I say it really depends on the particular time period, timestamp that you're taking the Nike versus Adidas competition at. Meaning that if you were to say right now, right at this very second, and I can answer that question for you in this video, right at this very second, what company is better, Nike or Adidas? It's still really a matter of opinion, but right now, if I had to say who has the better lineup of top-end products when you're talking straight-up footwear, I would personally say Nike, just because I think they have a little bit more variety in terms of what they have on offer. Whereas Adidas, obviously they have all new stuff right now, but it's a product line that I think doesn't appeal to a lot of people. I don't think that a lot of people, or I do think that a lot of people, will look at the Adidas lineup right now and say, I don't really like much of anything. Whereas with the Nike line, I think that they just have something for everybody right now, which, like I said, just makes it a little bit more appealing for the vast majority of people, which is why I think Nike at the moment is more popular than Adidas. So that's kind of my rationale. Do I really have a preference? No, I like lots of Nike shoes. I like quite a few Adidas shoes as well. But like I said, if I had to say who is winning at the moment, I would say that Nike definitely does have the upper hand. Next question. What position do you play? Right now, when I play for a team, and I do play for a team, just a local men's team, I moved recently, so I actually got to walk on to, it's a competitive men's league, but I walked on kind of halfway through the season, got to play, so I was happy with that. Not sure what I'm going to do next summer, but nonetheless, I did get to play, and when I do play, I generally play as a striker. If you guys want to hear the backstory on positions that I've played throughout my entire soccer career, if you want to call it that, when I was really, really young, I was actually a defender, generally a center back or something like that. And then I want to say when I was 10, 12 years old, I had this kind of fascination with being a goalie. So I was a goalie for a year or two. Not very good, but I was a goalie nonetheless. And then I kind of moved my way back out, ended up playing striker. Kind of as when I was 13, 14 years old. And then when I was 15, that's when I kind of really was like, okay, I'm going to play striker pretty much for the rest of my life. This is my position. So that really hasn't changed since I was 15 years old. But like I said, when I do play, normally I play as a striker. Next question. Who's your favorite player? I get this one a lot as well. My favorite active player at the moment, I would say, is Ibrahimovic. Not only because of the way he plays, but just the stuff that he says is just absolutely outrageous. The guy just thinks so highly of himself. He's so confident to no end. It's just amazing for me to watch. And I just really like his style of play. I like that he can be a player that is either non-existent or all over the place, which you could say about a lot of guys, but the things that guy does and the things he's capable of doing just really, really impress me. Ronaldinho is another guy that really, really impressive player to watch. Maybe not so much anymore like he was back in his prime, but he's just such a natural talent, so much ability with that guy. Just really, really fun to watch. I would say the warm-ups right now are probably more fun to watch than him actually playing. But I would say Ibrahimovic is my favorite active player, and my favorite retired player would probably be Thierry Henry. It's another guy that, go watch some YouTube highlights of Thierry Henry if you haven't already. There's a lot of good stuff there. Very, very entertaining player. Next question. Would you ever consider doing vlogs or day in the life videos? This is something that I have considered before. Obviously, you guys have suggested it to me in the comment section quite a few times. And up until now, and I'm sure if you guys have watched the channel, you've definitely noticed this, I've kept things a little bit more private. And that's kind of by design. I've always wanted this channel to be a little bit more professional in terms of how it's run, where you're coming here for straight up facts and straight up information as opposed to, like I said, kind of to see my personality. And that's something that I'm not opposed to changing. Obviously, there is a demand for people wanting to know a little bit more about me, which is kind of why I'm doing this Q&A series in the first place. But it's something that I'm definitely open to. I guess leave down below in the comment section if you guys would be interested in some kind of a day in the life video or vlog style video. Again, it's just something that if you guys want to see it, I'm open to trying it out and kind of seeing where it goes from there. As far as day in the life videos go, honestly, I spend a lot of time in this room, in this office that you see me in, and there's not a lot to actually vlog or really show that would be entertaining in my opinion. But like I said, it's something that we can try out. I can do my best to try and make it entertaining for you guys. And we'll see what we can do. I've never viewed this channel as kind of an entertainment channel. Obviously, to a certain extent, you're watching a video and that is entertainment, I guess, on some level. But like I said, I viewed this channel and kind of created this channel as more of an information type of kind of place to go, a place where you would want to learn something about a particular product, mostly shoes obviously. But like I said, an entertainment side to the channel is definitely not something that I'm opposed to doing if you guys would like to see it. So let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comment section. How much money did you spend on your entire collection and how much is it worth? This is a question that kind of has a little bit of a complex answer, and an answer that I think some people might be surprised with. So when you talk soccer shoe collection, at least in terms of what I have, I don't really consider this stuff here, the newer stuff, to be part of my collection. Obviously, there are some limited edition releases that have come out recently that I've kind of thrown into what I would consider to be my collection. But for the most part, it's this older stuff that you can't really buy anywhere anymore that I would consider to be my collection. How much has it cost me? This is something that I didn't buy all at once. It's something that I've kind of purchased over the years. And I think a lot of people assume because they see all these shoes on my channel that I'm just spending tons and tons of money on everything. And that's not really the case. There are not many shoes in this collection here that I've spent over $150 on. Most of them a lot less, if I'm completely honest. Where do I get them? eBay is generally the place where I find a lot of this older stuff. Obviously with eBay, you have to be careful with what you're buying. There are lots of fakes there. There's lots of people just selling something that they don't actually have. So like I said, you have to make sure that you are, you really know what you're looking for, I guess, when it comes to buying things on eBay. But if you do your research and make sure you know exactly what you're buying, you can come across some of these older things as long as you're patient. In terms of how much I've spent over the years, I would say probably a couple $1,000s, maybe a little bit more than that even, in terms of kind of collecting all of this older stuff. With that being said, it's something that I've always viewed as kind of content for the channel, and I guess it helps that I really like having it too. It's kind of cool to have all this older stuff. It's you look at this rack here and it's kind of like going through the history of soccer cleats over the last 10 years or so, because there's not too many things that are super old, and for the most part soccer cleats really didn't change for a very long time up until, like I said, the last 10-15 years. That's when we started to see some real innovation and some real variety. So like I said, I've probably spent several $1,000s on the entire collection, but like I said, over a long period of time. Was it worth it at the end of the day? I would argue yes. I mean, you guys have probably enjoyed a lot of the retro review videos on my channel, but how much is it all worth? That's another question. Honestly, worth when it comes to soccer shoes is really depending on how much you actually want it. If you look at a lot of older shoes that are 8, 10, 12 years old, most of those shoes, they originally came out, were being obviously they were asking full retail for the shoe, so let's say $200. Most of those shoes really wouldn't sell out, so they'd have to be marked down. So let's say they got marked down to $150. They'd sit around for another 5, 6, 7 months. They'd get marked down again, and then eventually be sold out a year to a year and a half, sometimes even 2 years after their initial release. So people are buying that $200 shoe at $100 or so 2 years down the line, and then hanging on to them. Now, if you go to try to resell a shoe that's, let's say, 8 years old now on eBay, to try and get the full $200 retail that it was initially worth, that's a pretty difficult proposition. There aren't many older shoes that are worth the original retail price. So for those people that think that, oh, they look at this rack and think, oh my gosh, this is a lot of money worth of shoes, that they're all worth $300-400 a piece, that's not really the case, because you're not going to find many people that are going to want to pay $400 plus for a single pair of shoes. It's actually a very tough thing to do. So like I said, in terms of how much the whole collection is worth, I would like to think that it's worth just as much as I paid for it, but certainly not more, I guess is the best way to put it. This is not a $25,000, $50,000 collection of soccer shoes, because like I said, most of these shoes, you'd be lucky to get $150 a piece, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So that answers that question. And the last question is, what's your all-time favorite shoe? This is one I get all the time. A lot of new people to the channel tend to ask this question. And again, it's one of those questions that I honestly don't have an answer to. There's not one shoe across my entire kind of life of wearing shoes, especially over the last 4 years, because I have tried pretty much everything high-end that's come out. But there isn't one shoe in particular that jumps out to me as an all-time favorite. If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I can tell you that I generally tend to prefer leather shoes. But with that said, there's plenty of synthetic shoes as well that I've really enjoyed over the years. A couple that jump out at me is the Legend 5, which would be the most recent favorite shoe that I have. The Nike T90 Laser 1 is a shoe that I really liked. I have fond memories of wearing the Predator Mania from Adidas, but a lot of people really like that shoe. Those are three, I guess, that jump out at me. I really like the Laser 2 as well. But those are a couple that jump out at me. But to say that I have an all-time favorite shoe, one specific model, in all honesty, I just don't. Alright guys, that is it for my first Q&A video on the channel. Let me know what you guys thought of it down below in the comment section. If this is something you'd like to continue to see as a series, leave your feedback. If you enjoyed the series, want to continue seeing it happen, be sure to support the video with a like, and leave your questions for the next Q&A video if you would like to see that down below in the comments of this one. And in that video, I'll pull from the comments in this video to have questions to actually answer. So that is pretty much it, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. All my social media information is down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks for watching.